So I'm here with Shelby. Shelby, how are you?
I'm okay, how are you?
Okay. Tell me about yourself. Where are you from, originally?
From Goldsboro, Maryland. Was there till I was about 13, and then I moved to Dover, Delaware.
Dover, Delaware. That's quite a ways from Kensington. How did you get from Dover over to here?
A bus and 2 trains.
What was the reasoning? Drugs?
Yeah.
How did you first hear about Kensington?
We had somebody that was bringing us drugs from up here to down there, and then he ended up getting arrested, so we kind of just came up here by ourselves.
And how long have you been out here?
About 3 years.
3 years? What's your drug of choice?
Crack and fentanyl.
Fentanyl. How long have you been using?
I started with perks about right after I had my son. Had my son in 2012, so about since 2012.
Gotcha. Who first introduced you to drugs?
The group of friends I was hanging out with.
How long did it take from you to go from, recreational to full-blown addiction?
I'd say about a year and a half.
Yeah. Do you have any family still in the picture, or?
My dad.
What's your relationship with him like?
That's my best friend.
Yeah. Is he in Delaware?
Yeah.
Can you go back home, or?
I could, but I'd have to get clean.
Gotcha. Have you ever tried to get clean?
Once or twice. It's coming. It's coming soon.
Yeah. Have you ever been in an actual rehab, or you just tried to quit cold turkey by yourself?
Pretty well. The first time I got arrested. Second time I started going to the methadone clinic, which some people say that's not clean, but my thought process is if I can get off the fentanyl one step at a time.
What did you get arrested for?
Honestly, panhandling. Delaware very much frowns upon panhandling.
Do they? They'll lock you up for that?
They give you fines for soliciting, and then once you get so many fines, they put out a warrant for your arrest for unpaid fines.
Wow, that's crazy.
So it was like panhandling, soliciting, unpaid fines, kind of all in one.
Yeah. Have you ever been arrested in Philadelphia?
No, thank God.
What do you typically do to get money to buy drugs?
Panhandle.
Panhandle? How receptive are people to that?
It was a lot easier in Delaware. Now, it's not impossible up here, but me and my boyfriend were about the only homeless people in our little part of Delaware. Up here, there's somebody almost in front of every store. So, and a lot of the people out here, if they don't have enough to give to everybody, they just kind of keep it pushing, because it will start fights. I've seen civilians get pulled into, actual fist fights because they gave somebody $1 and not somebody else. And I think most of the time they would rather just keep it pushing, say they don't have cash, and
keep it moving.
Yeah.
Yeah. What's your day-to-day routine like? From the time you get up, is it just straight panhandling, or what does that typically look like?
Pretty much. You have the transit cops come at 5:30 in the morning, snatch your blankets off of you, throw them on the tracks. Sometimes rough you up a little bit if you don't want to jump up and, they expect you to wake right up out of your sleep and run out of the station. I mean, it takes me a second to get up and get moving. So sometimes they consider it disorderly conduct. They might want to rough you up, act like they're going to arrest you, whatever. So that usually starts off bad. Then I'll go sit in front of Wawa, make a couple dollars, get breakfast, come out here, get well, and then it's kind of back and forth after that. Make money, get well, make money, get well.
Yeah. You mentioned your boyfriend. Where's he at?
We actually just split ways on the Ave.
Gotcha. And he kind of goes and does his hustle, and you do yours?
Yeah.
Gotcha.
We kind of share a panhandling spot, so instead of one person just waiting on the sidelines for him to get done, or me to get done, vice versa, I'll make my money, let him go out, and we kind of, like, I'll run down here, come back, and about the time I'm getting back, he's finishing at the spot, and then I'll take over. It keeps people out of your spot, and it keeps from one person having to wait for the other.
Are people usually more receptive to you being a female than they are him, or how does that work?
Believe it or not, he makes more up here than I do. In Delaware, it was completely different.
Where do you guys sleep at?
Train station.
How hard is it to like shower and maintain like hygiene and things like that?
You can cat bath every night, stuff like that, but an actual shower, you gotta like put your name on a waiting list at like Savage Sisters or one of the churches or shelters or whatever. And it's a process. It's a process.
Yeah, no, I get it. What's the worst thing you've seen while being out here?
Oh my God. Not long ago, my boyfriend got stabbed in the face.
Over what?
Somebody tried to rob him in the Allegheny Stairs. He didn't have any money. He didn't have any drugs. All he had was his book bag, and it didn't have anything good in it. They didn't even take it. They just assumed he might have had something.
Who do you usually see doing the robbing and things? Is it younger teenagers? Is it homeless people? Like who usually is doing it?
Younger teenagers. The homeless people, they're kind of sneaky about it. They'll wait for somebody that's like sleeping or nodding out, and they'll kind of, you know, pick and walk off. And if, you know, they get confronted, sometimes they'll just give it right back. But the teenagers, they're the ones that are aggressive about it.
Do a lot of people get arrested around here, or the cops don't really?
The cops act like they really don't want to deal with it. They will.
You think the problem's just too big, or they just got other things to worry about, or?
My thought process is they shouldn't have let it go this far. If they wanted to do something about it, they should have nipped it in the bud right from the start. Now that people are comfortable with it and know they can kind of get away with it, it's a lot harder.
It's just become normal.
Yeah, it's normalized.
What do you feel like your biggest regret in life is?
Ever getting on drugs in the first place.
Yeah. You had mentioned your kid. Where a boy or girl?
Boy.
Where's he at now?
He's with my boyfriend's family, sort of, in North Carolina.
Is he the dad?
Yeah.
Yeah. Is he staying with? Is your son staying with grandparents or?
Yeah.
Yeah. What's your relationship with him like? Do you contact him, call him? Like, what does that look like?
Yeah, they're not my favorite people in the world, but to talk to my son,
yeah,
I'll be friendly.
Yeah. Does he have family around here? The boyfriend?
Nah, the two people he had are in North Carolina. Once the pandemic hit, when we lived in Delaware, we were in Dover, they were in Smyrna. We were, you know, literally a town away from each other. It was a $2 bus ride to go see our kid. We were there every day. Once the pandemic hit, their job moved them to North Carolina because they shut down the factory they were working at in Smyrna, so.
What's your biggest fear about being out here?
Dying, one way or another.
Have you ever overdosed?
Luckily, no. But the danger, shit's getting real dangerous around here.
Yeah.
And even if you don't have money, you're not mouthing off to somebody. I don't know how many times I've been sleeping and got woken up to being kicked in the face, pepper sprayed, sexually assaulted, crazy stuff.
You've been sexually assaulted out here while you were sleeping?
Yeah.
Damn, what happened?
Young Spanish boy came up while I was in the train station. It was one night my boyfriend wasn't there. Came up and literally I woke up to him with his hand down my pants. And he wanted to get physical. So thank God I had pepper spray on me, but it could have went a lot different.
Yeah. Is the dope out here even dope, or is it cut with fentanyl?
It's all cut with fentanyl, trank. I've heard even like the crack has fentanyl in it to get people hooked.
Yeah. What does the high on trank feel like? Is it similar to dope?
Dope is kind of like a warm, fuzzy feeling. Fentanyl is kind of like just get you up and moving, you know, you can function, you know, start your day, stuff like that. The trank, it pretty much just has you sleeping.
Knocks you out?
Yep.
When you envision your life in 5, 10, 15 years from now, in a perfect world, what would that look like?
Me and my boyfriend with our own house, both have good jobs. We have custody of our son. You know, the little white picket fence with the dogs in the yard. That would be nice.
You can do it. You can do it. Does it hurt when you think about your current situation? Is it hard to talk about, or is it hard to, like, you know, realize the severity of it, or?
Yeah, it's something you kind of just push to the side and try not to think about.
Yeah. I know one thing, life can definitely get better. You know, I've been where you're at. I don't really share my story too much because I feel like this is about you guys, but I feel like I'd be doing you a disservice if I didn't, you know, kind of share that as well. I've been homeless. I was addicted to drugs for 18 years. Like, there is a better way. And as hard as this is every day, like, you know, so just, you know, don't give up the fight.
I want it. Most people say, well, you gotta want it. You gotta hit rock bottom. Trust me, I want it. But it was a lot easier to get off regular dope than it is this stuff. Like methadone, if you get on a high enough dose, it'll kind of help with this, but they don't have like a one certain thing that'll target the fentanyl and the crank. If I found that perfect concoction of what to take to get off of this, I'd be there now.
Yeah. No, I hear you. If you could give a message to your younger self, or, you know, any teenagers or kids who may see this, or what would that be?
Don't ever try drugs. If you never try them, you know, they say, is it better to have loved than lost, or to never loved at all? If you don't start, you don't know what you're missing. You don't have to worry about getting clean. Trust me, it's not worth it.